Okay, so Butterfly's gone out. So we have a child from a household where femininity was discouraged with what could be described as quite unreasonable behaviour from a primary caregiver. There was a parental separation, which would have caused a dramatic problem and problems for that child, but this does not quite explain the distress, which is what gender dysphoria is. So we have a child who's exhibiting gender dysphoria, who has split off part of their identity in order to accommodate his environment. And we haven't actually got an explanation for that distress. So there is something within there that's not as it's being presented. It's certainly not something that's rooted in that child's body being wrong. So let's have a discussion about the context, shall we? And what else do we know about this child? So let's pretend that we're not talking about Max, because we're talking about Susie Green. So what do we know also about this family? We know that the mother in this family, where the child's distress was so unexplained and where gender dysphoria was exhibited, we know that the mother took the child to Thailand to have a legal gender reassignment surgery, which involved castration, which was permanent, at 16. And we know that that was not lawfully available in the UK, and then that was subsequently not lawfully available in Thailand. So we have a child with unexplained distress, we have a parental separation, we have extremely concerning views about stereotypical gender roles that are nonsense in the house, that are rooted in, according to the television programme, The Father. But, you know, we also have a mother who's taken the child out of the country for illegal medical treatment, which is permanent and irreversible at 16. What else do we know about this situation? Well, we know that the charity the mother set up was banned from working with a family because of Munchausen's dynamic, where the mother enthralled two mermaids, I believe were the exact words, was ordered to stay away from mermaids, and the child was given in custody to the father. And then we have a charity mermaids who showed an inability to see the seriousness of that, who then denied that an order that was made about them to parties in the proceedings, because it couldn't have been made to them because they're not a party to proceedings concerning any child. They denied that that was possibly the case. So, that's concerning. Is there any way that this distress was rooted in that child's body? No. Absolutely none. And what you have is a very textbook situation there, but a very serious, unexplained amount of distress. And what you have when you start looking at the story in real life is a very concerning behaviour from the mother, and a lack of insight into her own behaviour. Then we have that the charity the mother started has been part of a concerted attempt to undermine safeguarding and demand that we do not look at gender dysphoria as a symptom of distress in any child. And we just affirmed this very serious splintering of a child's identity, which is really fucking a major mental episode, by the way. We're to just ignore that because Susie Green says so. This has been a campaign which has involved a systematic targeting of 50,000 women. We have had violent assaults as part of this campaign, attempts to stop women meeting to even discuss safeguarding. We've had third-party harassment using statutory agencies and the police, and we've got an attempt to use media exposure, including an ITV series, and media support in The Guardian to explain the actual basic safeguarding frameworks, which actually should have resulted in Susie Green, had that child been any younger, would have resulted in criminal charges and that child being removed. That actually we'd just like them not to apply anymore. We have a Mermaids website, and we have an All Sorts pack, which basically are about allowing grooming. And we have children where these charities think that a brand new glitter family, which includes Karen White and Ian Huntley and paedophiles and rapists and flashers, should supersede parents, because somehow this enormous trans umbrella that contains all these sex offenders also contains these children. I'm going to be honest with you, there's nothing new in Butterfly. What is interesting is the attempt to present it the way that it's been presented, and what was also interesting is the way that it was defended. The notion of trans children to validate adult males with gender dysphoria is deeply concerning. The notion that the medical treatments that we're talking are not approved for this purpose. The surgery that we're talking about is unavoidable. We know that most gender dysphoria persists, and we know that actual gender dysphoria, genuine gender dysphoria in a child of that age indicates extreme distress. And all we've got is a mother behaving extraordinarily to avoid anybody addressing the underlying distress that's being evident. In my world, that's treated with suspicion, and rightly so. So, Butterfly was beautifully acted. I really like Hannah Friel. I understand why she didn't see that. I'm not criticising her, but that's why ITV is supposed to have safeguarding people. This is disturbing. Like, I know that we've won. I know that what's Mermaids and Mesmac and Gendered Intelligence and Stonewall have tried to do is press against legal frameworks that are actually upheld in an entirely different way to the way that they think. And these are actually about agreement between parents, government and professionals. And actually, it's kind of pretty impermeable. Like, it will just bounce this shit off. And while they are third parties trying to undermine safeguarding, I am deeply, deeply concerned at the way that this has been presented, because tonight, lots and lots of children who were very, very distressed watched that. And what they saw was a very, very misleading presentation of some circumstances that we understand. This is a fucking mess. This is actually a mess. And even though I know all this is the case, like, the fact that it's gone out, the fact that this has gone so far, we can't let this happen again. But how we get from, you know, Daddy says you can wear hair bows and he won't be mean to you about it if we say the problem's your body and you're actually a girl, that's quite some fucking leap. And it's a leap that's just been put out on primetime television to vulnerable kids all over the country. I'm really sorry, but this is not okay. This is really beyond not okay.